Hi, I'm Wendy, and today's tip is all about how to talk simply without talking down to people. Now, it's a bit of a fine balance, isn't it, for some people? You want to speak in very clear and simple terms, but then you get a bit worried that you're going to come across as sounding a bit condescending or that you're talking down to people. So I'll give you a few tips to help you to talk in simple, clear terms without talking down to people. So the first thing, which I've said on many occasions, is to know your audience. Now, if you are talking with people who are in your industry, who are very familiar with your topic, who understand you, you know them, then you don't need to perhaps talk in very simple terms with them. However, if you are talking with people who are outside your industry and it's in a general setting, they may not have the same level of familiarity with the subject that you have. So you've got to tailor your communication or your presentation based on their knowledge and expertise. So try not to oversimplify but overcomplicate the situation. If you see their eyes glazing over, then that could be a sign, or they're looking elsewhere, or they look really worried or confused, then it would seem that perhaps they're not understanding what you're saying and you may be overcomplicating things. So that's when you can then oversimplify. But be careful, you don't want to come across as condescending and insulting. Now, use plain language. So choose very straightforward, very plain language. It doesn't have to, have bells and whistles and frills on it at all. As I said, if it is a general audience, avoid any unnecessary industry jargon, technical terms, acronyms, slang, things that, only people in the know. So you don't want to do that. Obviously, if specialized terms are required, try to explain it in very clear and simple ways. As I said before, it pays to know your audience. Now, ask questions. So encourage involvement and participation with your audience or with the people you're communicating with. So it's no good saying, "Oh, do you understand?" Because they may very well say yes, when in fact they don't, but they're too embarrassed to admit that they don't understand. So there are other ways to check with their understanding. And one of these is to ask some questions. So you might say, what do you take from this? Or does this sound like something that you could run with? Is there anything here that would be of value to you? So you could ask those type of questions. You could ask questions that seek clarification from them, that they have actually picked up on what you've said, that they've understood your point. You could, if it's suitable, appropriate, you could get them to recap or summarize what you've said, or indicate to you what they think the main takeaways of your message are, what the key points of your message is. Provide some context. So if you are about to talk about something that's quite complex, try not to, and you're talking with people who are not in the know, it might be a general audience, give some context. Don't dive straight in to the complexities of the matter. You want to give a little bit of context for people. Another good thing is using analogies and examples. So when it is a little bit complex or abstract, I think it pays to use some relatable analogies or anecdotes, stories, examples, to just make it that little bit more understandable for people who may not be necessarily familiar with your topic. Try to organise all your information or your presentation in a very logical manner. Even for people who are confident and know your topic, if you're talking about something and you're all over the shop floor, then that will only confuse everybody. So you need to be quite sort of structured, organised, logical in the way you approach giving that information. Of course, condescension is obviously to be avoided. This is not an opportunity to lord it over other people, to show your superiority. That won't win you any friends at all. Just bear in mind that we are all on a different journey when it comes to learning different things. So you may be talking with people who are travelling at the same pace on the journey with you. You may very well be talking to people who are several steps behind you on that journey. It doesn't mean that they're not intelligent or that, they don't have the skills or the talents. They are simply traveling at a different pace, and they are on the journey, but at a different stage of the journey with you. So ensure that in every time you speak to someone, it is with respect and some kindness, and that you show a genuine interest, and that you show that you're pleased to be with the other person. As I said again, check for their understanding, be patient. That ties in what I've said about being on different paths, different journeys. Sometimes some people need longer than others to process the information that they're being given. So be patient about that. Don't expect people to get it straight away. Some people might, that's great. But other people may take a little bit longer to digest and process what you've said. So avoid rushing, avoid speaking too quickly. Just make sure that you've explained things and you've allowed people enough time to understand it. Try to be empathetic with people. Remember the first time you were introduced to a topic you knew nothing about. So it can be perhaps a little bit, awkward or even stressful or frightening even. So, you need to show a little bit of empathy, put yourself in the shoes of other people, understand what it is like to hear some perhaps complex technical information for the first time, and be a little bit respectful, patient, kind, and patient with people. So look, I hope those tips help you the next time. Just be very aware of your voice tone, your facial expressions, making sure that you're explaining things in a simple way, but not a condescending way. Okay? Good luck with that.